Alright guys, so several days later, and as you see, I got a new set of, decided to get a set of headers for this car. Wouldn't blow in the cardboard in the back, but yeah. So I got a new set of headers. They're just cheap generic eBay headers. They are still technically better than the stock exhaust manifold because each port has its own header. They're not equal length, but they're still a lot better when it is. They are 3 to 2 to 1, 6 to, yeah, it's 3, got 3 headers or pipes going to a separate collector, so there's 2 collectors. I think that's 3 to 2 to 1 or something like that. Anyway, you can see they fit up to the head real nicely with the new gasket. But there is a little, just take it out, easier to see with these out. So see, there's a little plate down there. It comes off the oil. It comes off the oil pan. And this little bit right here touches the header. Now, I guess technically it'd be fine, but I'm a little worried about it buzzing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just take a hammer and just kind of flatten it out a little bit, make it a little bit of room. Some people do cut that off, but I'm not sure what that's for. And I don't want to remove something that might be important, which I don't think is really important, but I'm just gonna bash it in. I just want to make sure I leave enough room for it. If I have to take the oil pan off, it'll come off no problem. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think the last video I put the new freeze plugs in on this side and a couple on the other side as well. And I got all the studs out except for the 2 on the ends because I'm just going to use the old bolts. And I'm just going to get 2 nuts for here because one of the nuts was seized onto the stud and I couldn't get it off. And this one here, which is a regular bolt, and since I was missing this bolt, I'm going to take the bolt that was here on the old head and move it to here. That way the middle is sealed, and later on I will go down to Ace Hardware or whatever and get 2 nuts. I've discovered when taking off the old, well not old, but taking studs out of this head, that the nut for that holds the master cylinder onto the brake booster is the same thread pitch. So I'll just take that nut with me to our Ace and get a couple bolts or our nuts. So yeah, I might be able to. So let me go ahead and get that done, and get at least the headers of the exhaust hung, and start bolting down the intake. So see you guys just a little bit. Alright, so running into a little problem with these headers. Like I said, the eBay headers are cheap, so I kind of figured it have a little bit of issues. A couple of these holes right here. Oh, these headers, they got little indents on the side with that's supposed to match up with the bolt holes, but this tube right here, this tube right here, and even this one right here, the dents don't exactly match up with the header. So I'm gonna have to shave those down a little bit. Looks like just like an 1/8 of an inch or so, well, probably like a 1/16 of an inch or so, a couple millimeters, and that'll fix that problem. Well, yeah, eBay headers, what do you expect? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it back off and clearance those 3. Those look like the only 3 that need to be clearance. All the other ones seem to match up pretty well, or good enough to where they'll work. So see y'all in just a little bit. Alright, so I pretty much got those holes figured out. I had to grind down this side a little bit and this side, and of course that side a little bit too. Apparently I'm missing 2 bolts that hold it on, so I'm wanting to get some more, get a couple more. I'm just gonna lay the intake on top of it just so I get that visual appeal, and probably put like 1 nut like right in the middle to kind of lay the intake back. I do have these 3 bolted in, So yeah, so the headers themselves are solid, and like I said, I got plenty of clearance even to that thing on the back right there. There's about 1/8 of an inch between that little piece of metal that sticks up and the header tube, so that should be plenty. I don't imagine these things move around a lot, plus once I get the Y pipe on there that bolts to the back of the transmission, that will pretty much keep it from moving around. But yeah, so basically just drop the intake on, tighten everything down and everything. But like I said, I had to get 2 bolts, couple, probably stack of washers, because I need these thick ones, and 2 nuts. Actually probably 3, because I need a nut for this one too, because this nut stripped out. But yeah, unless I could probably take this off, grab that nut, and I could probably use that nut right there, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just worried about getting the intake on and seeing how it is. That way, when I get the money to do the oil change and coolant and all that, get this thing running. It's been a while. So, yeah. So I'll see you in the next clip. Alright, so I pretty much got the intake on temporarily for now, just secured, well, hand tight with the top bolts, just to kind of show you how it's going to look. Like I said, I still got to get the 2 other bolts for the bottom with a couple washers. A couple things with these headers I've noticed. Like I said, I had to clearance a couple of the holes so the bolts could actually get into the holes. And also, the heat shield won't fit with these headers. You have to take the heat shield off the intake in order to fit it on there. Generally, people do that anyway, I guess for weight savings or something like that. And since these are stainless steel headers, they're pretty much the same material, the ones inside the truck. Theoretically, all the heat will stay in the pipe until it exits out the car. It might get a little warm, but I ain't worried about that. This is a return style fuel system, so not really too worried about heat soak. And I'm still going to use the injector fan and everything. Once I get all that put on, I just got to get a new vent for the top. At least I think when I use the injector fan. Either way, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, the car's got hood vents, so functional hood vents, so yeah. But that's generally how the header's going to look on this engine. Now, yeah, I wish I would have took the time to paint the engine and everything, but whatever. These are, what people argue is probably the single best thing to do on these cars is change the stock manifold. It's unlike new cars where the exhaust is designed in such a way to where they're already as efficient as possible. These older cars, because of the smog era, they kind of downsized everything. So this one mod will actually go a long way. Plus, with upping the compression with this head, provided this head actually works the way as I intend, especially considering that the damage I found on it. Like I said, worst case scenario, I'll just switch back to the other head. I'll just lose compression, which will probably negate the benefit of these headers. But if I put a supercharger on it, wouldn't really matter. But yeah. So I'm pretty much going to call it like this for tonight, because like I said, I need to get a couple bolts put in. I need to get the oil for it. I need to get the coolant for it. I need to figure out what I could get rid of on top of here for the vacuum stuff, because I really just want the vacuum to run the charcoal canister and the well, maybe not even the charcoal canister, because I live in Florida. I don't have to worry about emissions, and even then, this car's old enough to where in most places, except for California, or state of California laws, it would be emissions exempt. But I want to run the vacuum advance on the distributor, of course the vacuum booster on the brake booster, and the AC vents, and that's it. And also, this gets the vacuum with the throttle. The more vacuum it receives, the more advanced it gets. I believe that's how it works. Could be the other way around, but as far as I know, that's how it works. Brake booster receives constant vacuum. Same thing with the AC vents. So even though with the AC vents, the AC doesn't work on this car, neither does the heat. So I'm not too worried about that. So most of this can get cleaned up, put it in, deleted. Kind of want to keep this because this raises and lowers the RPM of the engine, but the coolant pipe is broke, so it's going to be bypassed for now. So I'll probably just get that out as well. I just have to plug the hole that this goes into on the throttle body. Same thing with this one right here. And yeah. Alright, so it was a day or two later. I don't even know anymore. Seems like this project's been kind of going along for forever. But anyway, I got a couple new bolts. As you see, they're the ones on the ends. I put them there because they're 13 mil instead of the 12 mil head, so they'll match the nuts I have on the ends, and it'll be easier to get to from underneath because of the different size instead of trying to go through this way. The dimensions of them are 8 millimeter by 1.25, and they're, say, about 2.5 inches long, or something like that. Anyway, I just matched them up with another thing. I also got a couple extra nuts because I need one for over here because I think this bolt stripped out on me. So yeah. Anyway, I'm getting ready to drop the intake on there for the final time. I'm just probably going to go down and wipe the pipes off of the headers and put the intake down on it and tighten it down, and that's pretty much it with that part. I'm still trying to figure out a good map out the vacuum system, like where all the vacuum lines go, because I know this goes to a vacuum line. There's a bunch of vacuum lines go to the thermostat housing, that goes over, that goes to the charcoal canister, the thing for the AC vents, of course the brake booster and all that. I looked at the FSMs and stuff like that, and I can't find a clear picture, or at least one that's clear enough to me. There's also a little thing that hangs on the bottom of the throttle body that has a couple of vacuum lines that goes into. I think one of them goes to the distributor, but I don't know. I know a lot of people take that stuff off, but you know, I kind of want to keep this car relatively clean when it comes to driving around. But I don't know if I got these on here. You know, because this is going to be a daily. I'm trying to make this do a daily driver. I want to try to do this thing right, as much as possible at least. I have a feeling I'm probably going to be not hooking a lot of that vacuum stuff off, at least not right away. I'll probably just cap whatever I can off. I know this goes to a ported vacuum that goes onto the intake, like a constant vacuum source. That's the way this thing works. Yeah, then I also got to get the tube off the other exhaust manifold so I could have a working EGR, because that's kind of important too. I mean, I could always cap it off, since I think this catalytic converter on this car is no good, but you know, I'm probably going to stick a high flow cat on here, so I'm going to want the EGR to keep it heated up. Yeah, let me go ahead and drop this intake on, and we'll be one step closer to get this thing back on the road. So let's see y'all in just a bit. So I got the intake all tightened down and everything. I got the throttle body back on. Got some of the stuff moved out of the way. I just need to research what goes to where when it comes to the vacuum lines, what I can plug up, what needs to be plugged, and what works what. The main things I want to make sure stay running, like I said, are the distributor vents. That way I get better fuel economy, though. Yeah. I want to try to get the Starkle canister to stay going, or at least plugged up. Of course, the fuel pressure regulator, and that's probably about it. So, yep. Alrighty, so fast forward a little while. This is the next day or whatnot. I'm getting ready. Well, let me catch you up. Pretty much got everything else back together, minus a couple things that are a little unimportant. Still got to hook the battery back up. Still got to put some type of fluid in the radiator. I'm just going to put the Thermocure and some 2 jugs of water, distilled water back in there, just to make sure that this cylinder head isn't mixing oil. I haven't even done the oil change for that. I just want to double check before I'll do all that. And once I verify that everything's good, then I'll do the oil change and put the thermostat in and actual coolant. But left you off with me wondering about all the vacuum lines. I just got just a plug set, just plugged off pretty much everything that is not immediately important to the function of the engine. Later on, I'll put them back in. Like I got this capped off, that capped off. Got the PCB put back on. Got the EGR pretty much bypassed. I still got to get a muffler for this car, the rear section of the exhaust pipe. So pretty much I got to get the cap back system part of it. I also got to get a plug for the headers, so I can plug off the EGR bung. I also got to tighten up the O2 bung as well. I do plan on doing some other upgrades to this engine later on. Probably get a different head for it, but I do plan on getting some other upgrades for this engine. I'm still, even then, I want to get a wideband for this car, but I'm still not going to use this single O2 sensor bung, because I want to be able to monitor all 6 cylinders instead of just cylinder 2. That one's there for if the car comes with the factory O2 sensor. This car didn't, so I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, let me go ahead and get this water put in. I can back it up in my usual spot. That way you get the air out of it, let it circulate. And see if it comes up to temp. There's no thermostat in it still. The new thermostat's in the bag. Like I said, it's just a test to make sure that it's running on all 6 cylinders. It runs good. It's not mixing water and oil. And I was helping to lube everything up. I still got to do a valve adjustment. I haven't done that yet. Probably should have, but I don't intend on driving this car up and down the street until I get a muffler on it, because I don't want to annoy the neighbors. Bad enough I'm having it fired up for at least 10 minutes or so. But like I said, it's gonna be up over there, and it shouldn't be too bad, because I'm literally just idling it. I'm not gonna gas it or anything. So that being said, let me go ahead and get prepared. So see y'all once I get it up and running and back up in my usual spot.